everyone, it's August 1st and I am here hanging out at my mom's house. It's a couple of hours away from where I live and I'm going to be hanging out here all week. I'm going to be doing my day job, which is one of the beauties of remote work, and then I'm going to be hanging out with her in the evenings and stuff so we can spend some of that visiting time. However, I am also getting started on my deadline goal that I have coming up for the month. So at the end of July, after I had done some writing and I had worked through Camp NaNoWriMo, I assessed all of the projects that I was working on, and I realized I was about 45,000 words away from finishing one of my manuscripts. So I feel like that's getting really close to the finish line. I know 45,000 is a lot of words, but I feel like I can definitely get through that in a reasonable amount of time, fingers crossed. So I have a writing retreat coming up in September in Minneapolis. I am so excited for it. I cannot wait. I have not done an in-person writing retreat since 2019. We rented a house in Illinois last time, and it was just so fantastic and so productive. It is a wonderful group of people that I meet up with, and I have some people there that are great at keeping everybody on task. So I'm really looking forward to having a very productive weekend and just hanging out with my friends who I haven't seen since 2019. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. But I would also really, really look forward to immersing myself into my next manuscript. So I'm going to be doing a good, better, best scenario for my goals on this one. So my good goal would be to finish by the end of my writing retreat, finish before my writing retreat, which is what I'm really working towards, and finish by the end of August, which would just totally make my day. And then I could just, take a little bit of time off and then jump back into that next project. And by the time I hit that writing retreat, I will be in full swing with my next manuscript. So I am really looking forward to that. Obviously, I'm going to let this manuscript rest and work on another one before I jump back into edits. I think it's probably going to be really good for me to do that. Plus, if I'm in drafting mode, I think I'm just going to run with it at this point. So hopefully it's going to work out for me. We'll see what happens. But right now, I'm going to get a sprint done while my mom is away. And then hopefully I'm going to do well during the week. But I will keep you updated. No, I'm not looking at the Halloween stuff at Michael's in August. Hey everyone, it's August 6th and I'm actually hanging out here on my floor with my laminator. I am just waiting for it to heat up. I'm doing some arts and crafts stuff today. So yesterday night, so like last night, I got home from my mom, so I was there for a week. I did get some writing done when I was there. Very exciting. Not a ton, but I got some done because I was working while I was there. So I worked, I went and saw some movies. I finally saw Where the Crawdads Sing, hung out with my mom, took her out for dinner for her birthday. It was a very, very great trip. So now that I'm back, I am definitely getting into full swing of trying to get organized and trying to get back on top of my goals and what I want to do. If you remember from my vlogs from before, maybe a little bit in July, definitely in June, I scrapped everything. I took all my post-it notes off my Kanban board. I stopped using my planner. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't on social media, nothing. So I'm slowly trying to get back into that. So that's a couple of different things. I didn't put the Kanban board back up. I kind of did everything in dry erase marker. So I'm kind of stroking things off, almost like a big to-do list. And I am moving them down if it's something that I'm working on instead of actually doing the post-it notes. So I don't know if that's going to last for the full quarter and then I'll start again afterwards or how that's going to play out. But right now it's working for me, so I'm going to go with that. And also, I have a bulletin board up there, which I've probably shown you in other vlogs a few times. And normally I have my big goals that I'm working on for that time period, the books that I'm trying to read, all of that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to get back into reorganizing that again. And I did find this really cute planner on Etsy, and I think it's Secret Artiste. I'll put that in the show notes below if you are interested, but they had this planner that you could buy and it's a printable, and they have these adorable dashboards that are very witchy. So we've got like December, cute little kitty cats. We've got some other witches and dragons and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to be printing these off. Well, I printed them off already. I'm going to be laminating them, and then I'm going to use them as kind of dashboards for my bulletin board to get myself organized. Plus, I printed off some other parts of the planner, so they have like a yearly overview that's undated. So I figured these would be really awesome for like word count or productivity or kind of mapping out my schedule for my books and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't think I'm quite ready to do that yet, but just I'm in the laminating stage, so I'm just gonna laminate all of those things, plus some really cute like to-do lists and things that were part of the package. So I'm going to do all of that, get them laminated up, and I also picked up big pieces of paper and markers for my writing retreat when I was at Staples today, because that is happening in September. I'm doing a writing retreat with my friends in Minneapolis. Really pumped about that, but we like to put what our goals are for the weekend on big sheets of paper so that we can see them. We check them off. Sometimes we'll track our word count if that's something we want to do, or where we are with things. So I will have a video on that specifically in September after the retreat is over. But for right now, I am just planning and getting excited about that. The other thing that I am doing in terms of planning is I bought planners for next year. I've never used an Erin Condren planner, but everybody is very excited about them. And I've always had the covers because they fit on the planners from Michaels that you can get in Canada. I don't know if you can get them in the US or not. But my friend is going to be bringing me any packages that I want to deliver to her, because she's on the stateside, to the retreat. So I actually ordered myself an Erin Condren planner. They had a sale a little while ago, and I actually put the cover of some of the books that I haven't released yet on the front of the planner. So I'm so excited to see that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you guys until I'm a little bit further along, but that's going to give me some motivation to get that stuff done. So those things are coming. I'm getting this stuff done. And this week I'm also going to make a plan on how to get back to social media. I basically put a reel up in July for my Instagram followers, letting them know that I was taking a break and that I needed a break and I would see them all soon. So I'm thinking that one I might pick up towards the end of August or in September. I'm now back to posting 1 day a week in my Facebook group. So I'll have to see what that's going to look like. And I'm really not sure what I want to do with TikTok yet, so I'm still trying to figure that out. And hopefully by September, I'll have a strategy and decide whether or not I want to go back or whether I don't. I'm kind of really liking this time away from social media. I do feel a little bit left out because there's a lot of the writing community that is on social media, so keeping up with them and following them is what kind of keeps me in the loop. So it's a love-hate kind of relationship with social media. And I actually really like taking pictures and engaging with people and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes it does feel like an obligation. And when I'm trying to write words, it can get very stifling. So I'm trying to figure out what that balance is, that I'm still available and out there on social media, but I'm still getting writing done. I also think that I'm going to be a little bit more successful because I got my nails taken down today. So this is a really fun mermaid color. I don't know if you can tell, maybe you'll see it later in the videos later this month, but the other nails I had were just way too long and I couldn't really type with them. So it was really, really difficult to move really quickly, or I found that I was editing a lot because I was constantly hitting the wrong things, or it was catching on, I have got like a rubber sort of key guard that it was catching on. So I wasn't really moving as fast as I would like. So hopefully that's going to be a little bit better. And tomorrow I have a huge writing day. It is my monthly writing retreat day with my friends. So I'm really hoping to get at least a good 2,000 or more words in during the day, because I do have a few other tasks to do. So minimum 2,000 tomorrow, fingers crossed, still hoping to write again tonight. But I also still need to format that book that I talked about in July's video. I'm getting my rights back on a book and I need to get it up to Ingram lickety split. So I got some formatting done this week, not as much as I needed to get done. That needs to get done too, as well as the writing. So I'm going to need to plan all that out. So back to organizing, back to planning, and back to making everything pretty. Hey everyone, it's August 18th. It's a little dark in here because it's kind of stormy outside, but I figured I should probably let you know how things are going. If you've been watching this far in the vlog, you've noticed that I have been working really hard on Fierce, and I've actually put a lot of words into this project. I put about 10,000 words in so far, and things have been moving forward until they didn't. So on Tuesday, actually this was on Monday, I was really looking at this project and I kept putting words into it, but it just wasn't clicking for me. There's something that isn't working with the plot. I can't figure out what it is. And part of me thinks that might be one of the reasons I've struggled with this book for so long. If you've been following this channel, essentially, I've been working on this book since like early last year, and it has just not come together. A lot of that is outside factors, things that I had personally to which my writing suffered for, but I think maybe part of me understood that there's something wrong with the plot that I really wasn't sure how to handle. Anyhow, fix this problem. I went to my friends and I asked them, is this just hard? Because sometimes when I get into a project, things are just hard. Books are hard. You hate your book. It's fine. But this one seemed really different, and so they are actually going to help me workshop it during our writing retreat in September. They're going to sit down with me. I'm going to go through the plot, and they're going to either help me figure out what I'm missing, 2, help me rejig it so that I can make this a viable project, or 3, help me come to terms with the fact that maybe this is something that just doesn't need to happen. Basically, this book is a standalone within a standalone series that never really did well for me, and it's also a short novel. It's longer than a novella, but not quite full length. So it has been a little bit harder to market, especially with the series not doing as well. There's a lot of people who really enjoy the series. Usually they found me through something else and then went through my backlist and really liked the stories. So I do want to get this out there at some point, but I also know that if I never do anything more than the 2 fairy tales that I've done, then that's okay. So I'm moving on to a different project. I'm actually starting on Friday. I've spent the last 3 days planning and prepping and doing all that kind of fun stuff. I've been working on this project a little bit throughout the year. I have about 2,500 words, and I'm actually going to move those aside for now and start fresh. I'll probably bring in some of those conversations and things that I had written and just kind of work them back into the manuscript. But I'm going to see how far I can get before my writing retreat. And then regardless of what happens there with this project, I'm actually going to try to finish this manuscript first, and then I will come back to the other one, unless of course things aren't working. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want to lose any of this forward momentum. I've been doing really well. I've been getting words in, and I found a system that seems to be working for me for right now. So I'm going to be milking it while I can. If I haven't talked about it in earlier footage, I'll make sure that I talk about it before I get to the end of the vlog. But anyway, I'm going to be trying to get that stuff in. By the time I get there, I should be about 1/3 of the way through the book. I'm looking at about 80,000 words, give or take, but I should be about 1/3 of the way by the time I actually get to the retreat. And if I can add some more words during the retreat, I should be in really good shape by the time I get back. And I'm really excited about this project, and I'm really hoping it's going to shed a light on some of the issues that I've been having with this past project. Either I'm going to fly through this and things are going to go really well, and that's going to tell me something about my writing for this past project and why it's been so hard, or I'm going to struggle along with this one too, and I'm going to realize that it has actually nothing to do with the project itself, and there's still stuff that I need to work through. So plot twist, totally different book, and we'll see how that goes. Hey everyone, it's August 21st and it is a beautiful day. So I'm actually writing outside on my deck, not direct in the sunshine because I think I would just melt into the floor. So I have been doing some sprints today. It is Sunday. If you remember from this vlog that for you was probably a few seconds ago, for me a few days ago, I did start into another project that I'm kind of focusing on until my writing retreat. And so I got my word count in for Friday, and then Saturday I did get it in, just barely, because I had to run out of town unexpectedly with one of my kids and kind of come back. So that took up most of my afternoon, as well as the Sandman had to drop a secret special episode on Netflix that I just kind of wanted to get out of the way because I knew if I didn't watch it, I would just be thinking about watching it instead of doing my writing. So now that I've watched the episode, I'm good to go, and hopefully it's not going to mess with the rest of my week. So today I started out a little bit slower because what I was working on yesterday, I had put some chapters together from some of the stuff that I had written before, and I actually got about just over 1,400 words that were full scenes that I had written months ago. They were actually in pretty good shape. They definitely need some work, but they're good for like my first draft to be able to move forward, that I don't want to make major changes to them right now, which is excellent. I'm not counting that in my word count. So I wrote words, plus I got those extra 1,400 that I wasn't expecting. So bonus for me. And I started right back at the beginning of the story yesterday, and I was kind of plodding along very, very slowly. Things just weren't kind of quite clicking, but beginnings are hard. People want to make them as good as humanly possible. I did look up a few other books to see, some first lines and things of other books in the genre, because I do definitely read this genre as well. And yeah, I'm not sure if it's totally working or if I'm just putting too much pressure on myself for that, but I did skip ahead a little bit in the scene and decided to run from there because that dialogue was starting to come together. And the piece I just finished, just goosebumps. And I'm really hoping it gives my readers goosebumps too. And hopefully the rest of the process is going to be just like this. It's not. It's going to get hard, and I'm going to hate this book at some point. But for right now, I'm definitely going to lean in on the things that make me feel good and try to get as many words as possible. So I'm going to go back and work on my word count. I need, I think, about 202 words to finish my word count goal for the day. And then if I want to do anything else, then that's bonus for me. And if not, then I will be back into it tomorrow. And hopefully I'm going to be getting significant amounts of words in before the end of August, as well as before my writing retreat. And I'm really, really hoping that I actually get ahead of schedule. So wish me luck, and here we go. Getting book mail never gets old.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day.
Hey everyone, it is August 24th, I think, and as you can tell, I just got a big box of books. I'm really excited. I ordered copies of Keeper of Shadows and The Mistletoe Mistake, and so far, it's actually one of my best shipments from Amazon. Everything looks to be in good shape and lined up and no like bent corners and stuff, which is really exciting. It's not just an Amazon thing. Whenever you get a shipment of books, you always need to check them. I've had bad ones from Ingram too. It just happens. But I'm really excited about it because I'm actually doing an impromptu book signing kind of show on the weekend. My mother-in-law is a potter, not like Harry Potter, but she does magic with clay, and she makes all of these different things. Anyways, she does art shows and stuff all over the province, and she had decided to do one that's actually about 15 minutes up the road from me in a smaller town called Selkirk. And she has this big tent and decided that she didn't have that much stock and it would be nice to have somebody to hang out with. So if I was willing to do it, then I could have a table within the tent and sell some of my books there. So it's really exciting. And the Selkirk paper actually did a write-up on me last Christmas for The Mistletoe Mistake. So it was pretty exciting to be able to do that. And then now I get to do a signing in that town as well. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm actually going through all of my books and kind of seeing what I have for inventory and what I'm planning to bring, all that kind of fun stuff, just like any other con. I don't really know too much about this event. It's kind of like an art crawl, so I'm really not sure if there's going to be a lot of a bookish market there, but I am going to give it a try. Plus, I'm also going to be having something that I haven't really shown you before, but I did these things that are called A Witch's Journal, and they're just kind of like a low content book that I did on Amazon, and I did it as more of a fun little thing that I could bring with me to Salem next year for my witchy book signing. So this is a cute little notebook that I did. It's very simple. It's kind of got like a moon and a pentagram here, and then all the pages inside are just like writing pages as well with like cute little designs and stuff on them. So I'm going to bring these. I don't know if I'm going to sell any, but who knows? We'll give it a shot. And worst comes to worst, I can always use more notebooks. So I will definitely keep those around if they don't end up selling. But the Salem signing isn't until next year, and we will just kind of see how these go. I'll bring a few with me to the show and see if they sell at all, if people are even interested. And if they're not, well, then no big deal. Anyways, I'm going to go back to doing inventory, and I will talk to you all later.
The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
All right, so it is Saturday, August 27th, and I'm really excited to be part of the Selkirk Art Crawl. So I am here hanging out with my mother-in-law. We both have a tent to share. It is her tent, fortunately, and I am hanging out. I've got my stuff over here, and she has her stuff over here. She is a potter and does these like really cool little pottery things. So we're really excited, and we're hoping that it's going to be a good day. It has actually rained this morning, which kind of sucks, but we are about ready to open, and we're hoping to have a good day. So yesterday seemed to go okay. It was pretty slow, mainly because it was raining before the show started, and then it was pretty much overcast for most of the afternoon. So I think this really brought down the foot traffic that was coming through the area. However, it did start to get a little bit better in the afternoon as the sun started to come out, but it was a short show, and fortunately I was in a tent that had walls, otherwise my books would not have survived. Anyways, I'm always shocked at which books sell the best at shows like this, because it's never the ones that I expect, And I'm always really surprised as what ends up being popular at the end of the day. So for this show, I kind of expected The Mistletoe Mistake to do really well. The local paper had actually done a write-up on me and the book just around Christmas time of this year, and I brought a copy of the article to see if anybody recognized it, and I didn't sell one copy. So the most popular this time was Keeper of Shadows, and I do have some journals that I've done there, and those sold the same amount as my Keeper of Shadows. So I guess it ended up being more of a witchy fantasy kind of day. So that's quite all right. Anyways, as you can tell, I am already back at the rink. I know it is August, but fact of the matter is, being a hockey mom, that's just kind of what you do. You end up writing at the rink, working at the rink, and that's my life now until probably March. So I'm going to get back to doing some writing. I did not get my writing done on Friday. I had not budgeted any words for yesterday because I knew I was doing a show, and I had really good intentions of writing when I came home, and I was feeling pretty good, but then I just got super tired and just went to bed. So I'm going to get some stuff done. Hopefully I'm going to rally, get Friday's stuff done and today's word count done, and I'm going to be in good shape. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be a rough week. Okay, bye. Cheers, everyone. It is August 31st. Normally, you're used to seeing me here with a coffee or a chai or something like that, but I'm going to be celebrating the end of the month with a big glass of lemonade because it is kind of the end of summer. I know summer doesn't officially end until later in September, but this is the end of the August vlog, so I will be getting to fallish type things for September, as well as my kids go back to school next week. It's the last month of the quarter. It's kind of rolling over into that month, and in a whole 14 days, I'm going to be going away for my fall writing retreat. So for me, this seems like a bit of a capstone to end summer off. I don't know about anybody else, but I still find September and the start of the school year to be more of a new year than ever in January. I know that is technically the new year in this part of the world anyway, but the change of seasons, the change of weather, everybody kind of getting back into routine, it really feels like way more of a change to me than it is in January. So speaking of routines, things actually went pretty well in August. I didn't, knock it out of the park in terms of writing, and obviously I went in between two projects, which you already know by this point, but I did way better than I did in July, and way better than I've been doing for several months of this year. I wrote quite a lot of words, and I'm actually really, really close to hitting my pacemaker goal. If I finish the words that I need to do for today, because it is still August 31st and I still have words to write, then I will actually only be behind about 700 words from my overall goal for the month. So that kind of sounds like a lot, but it's also something that I could really make up relatively easily. If I have one really good writing day, 700 words could be, this huge mountain, or it could be, an hour's worth of work. So we'll have to see. I don't know if I'm going to manage to get there. I'm going to try. I have to work today. I have to shuttle kids around. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I hit my today goal. But if I can get a few words into that deficit and make it a little bit closer to the goal that I expected, I'm definitely going to try that. Wait a second, I just remembered I have not told you how I've been structuring my writing. So maybe we should start with that first before I get into where I'm at and how things are going to go and what I've learned from this month. So basically what I did was I used Pacemaker, and I love Pacemaker. So if you haven't seen my 5 reasons I love Pacemaker video, go check that out. And I printed off my plan. I created my plan. I did the mountain hike, which is my absolute favorite because it's a little bit, you just kind of ease into it. You've got some heavy weeks in the middle, and then you kind of slow back down, and it gives you some time to, if the book ends up being longer than you expect it to be, you can keep your word counts a little bit higher and still finish at the same time. Because the word counts are lower for the end of it, you can kind of maybe even finish early because you can get ahead on those word counts, and it just kind of makes me feel a little bit more accomplished. Biting the bullet's another good one if you are in the middle of a project and you just want to fire through stuff, because you start really heavy with word counts and get lighter. But the mountain hike seems to be my favorite. So I definitely started with the mountain hike, and I created the chart view, and then I printed it out, and then you can see I ripped it in half. So basically the part that I ripped off is the part where it tells me how many words are in the manuscript or where I should be on each day. And the part that I kept was what my daily goal was. So the reason I did this is I really didn't want to focus on the manuscript itself. Sometimes the book feels very overwhelming. I have to write how many words, that feels so big. So this way I just focused on my daily goals. So I would get my daily goal, I would write it down, I actually put it on my little board that I have here. And then as I would write, or as I would do sprints, I would check in and I would write how many words I wrote, and then I would stroke out the total and write how many words I had left. And so I focused on just the daily goal and how many words I had left. This worked out really, really well for me. So for the days that I did well and I went over, I didn't count those extra words or anything. I just, I didn't count them towards tomorrow's goal. I just let them lie. And then the next day I would start again with whatever my new target was. And the days that I didn't hit my target or I didn't write, I tried not to focus too much on that. And I just worked on the goal that I needed to work on for the next day. And if I knew that I was behind, sometimes maybe I would try to put in a little bit extra if I was feeling it to get me back on track. And there were definitely days that I did miss. So being 700 words out at the end of the month is really not all that bad. So that's basically what I did, and it worked out really well for me, and I'm going to continue doing that going forward. However, because it is the end of the month, I am recalibrating my pacemaker, so that way those 700 words, if I don't manage to get them in tonight, I will be able to spread them out over the rest of the project and still finish at the same time and adjust those targets. I am thinking about recalibrating probably at the end of every month, and I will usually probably recalibrate at the end of my writing retreat that I have in a few weeks. The way the mountain hike works, I'm actually going into my busier week right around that time. So I have about, I think it's 1,800 words and 1,900 words are the two goals for the days of the retreat that we're going to be writing heavily. And I think that I'm probably going to be doing a lot more than that. The last writing retreat we had, I think I did about 11 or 12,000 words between the 2 days. And I did a lot of admin work as well. But I also didn't want to put a bunch of pressure on myself, because Pacemaker does have the option where you can pick those days and put go hard and like really increase my word counts for those days. But I figured, let's not put the pressure on myself. It's still about 4,000 words in 2 days. And if I manage to do 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 20,000, then I will just readjust the rest of my plan after that's done, when I actually know what those words are going to be, because it is an opportunity for me to hang out with my friends as well as workshop and talk through some of the plot problems that I've been having with this project and other projects. So I don't really want to waste that time if that is available to me. But if everybody's writing and I'm being productive and I'm getting stuff done, that could be a huge bump for me. So I think I definitely need to recalibrate at that time. So what are the things that I've learned by using this process? Number one, I've learned that writing in the morning is a way better bet than anything else. I am not a morning writer. I suck at writing in the morning, and my writing sprints in the morning are awful, are usually way below my average, and the words are not totally great. But I have found the days that I put in at least one sprint before work have a better chance of actually hitting my goal for the day and actually getting writing done. The days that I did not write in the morning, I typically either didn't write at all or came very, very short on my word goal, even though some of those sprints that I was doing in the morning were like 50 words or like 100 words. So it wasn't like I was contributing a ton in the morning. It was just probably just getting my head in that headspace and focusing and pointing myself towards that goal. So this is something that I'm going to be trying to work into my schedule a little bit more, getting that first sprint done in the morning and revving myself up for the day, because it seems to have a really good quality, even though it isn't necessarily producing the best or the fastest words. The other thing that I found is that focusing on these individual tasks and individual goals for the day, as opposed to looking at the manuscript as a whole, has been super beneficial to not stressing me out. When I look at days that I didn't write, of course that does weigh on me. It's always going to weigh on me, but restarting, refreshing, and just starting with the next goal has been super beneficial to just moving forward and not getting into the rut of I've already failed, I'm just going to continue to keep failing, why am I doing this? So starting over and then maybe hitting my goal the next day or exceeding it would kind of wash out the doubt I felt in myself for not writing or not hitting my goal the day before, and then starting over the next day. So this is something that I definitely want to keep continuing to do. It may not work forever, but as long as it does continue to work, I'm going to keep doing it. If this is something that you want to try, let me know in the comments if this is something you've done or if this is something that you already do, and just focusing on that daily goal, because it has really started working super well for me. And I have lots of exciting things coming up in September. I'm gonna have some exciting cover reveals coming. I will also have some stuff on my writing retreat because I'm very excited to be heading to Minneapolis with some writer friends to do a writing retreat. I don't know if there'll be a separate video for that or if it'll just be in the vlog or not. So we will see. It just kind of depends on how much I get to film, but it's going to be a very busy month. I need to get a lot of words in. So hopefully you'll join me for that, and happy fall, everyone.